I am 38 years old and discovered video and photos of my wife, who was 39 years old at the time, shooting with another man. We've been together since our 20s and have 2 children, 11 and 13. We've had our ups and downs. Because I was away from home for extended periods of time. I was in the military, and when I got out, my jobs forced me to work long hours, so I handled all of the financial responsibilities. And all I asked was that she look after them. Which she does not, but that is a different tale. Fast forward to a few months ago, when I went to a bar with a few of buddies and struck up a conversation with a female at the bar about politics and sports. I'd purchased a couple of beverages for her to enjoy throughout the talk. That's all there was to it. When I informed my wife what had happened and about the girl, she immediately accused me of cheating on her and couldn't believe it. We agreed after our dispute that we would give each other our phones, so we could check over each other's texts to make sure I wasn't up to anything. So, right before we handed each other our phones, she stated she needed to check on something and went to the restroom with her phone. As she was searching through my phone, she came out and we traded phones. On hers I was watching YouTube. I didn't believe I had anything to be concerned about. Then a message arrived, and it was this. So I didn't read it, but it inspired me to look at photographs and videos. For some reason, they're in the trash file, along with a picture of them in bed together and a video of her and him having sex. What I was witnessing astounded me. She was upset because she couldn't find anything on my phone. So, when she saw the music emanating from her phone, she grabbed it and erased the media. I got out of the house. When I had regained my composure, I returned and questioned her about it. She claimed that despite the fact that they were both naked and playing with themselves, she did not have intercourse with him. Even though I saw it on the video, I questioned about the photos and she claimed it was her. Then she blamed me for everything, claiming I was never there for her. So she went to find someone with whom she could speak. I'm not sure why I lost faith in her. I don't want to disrupt my children's lives, but I can't bear the thought of being with her sexually or emotionally right now. She wants me to forget what I saw and figure it out on my own. I realize this is probably not the finest location, but I'm at a loss for what to do. Thank you, TLDR. So if you find a video of your wife cheating on her phone, you'll know what to do. My 26-year-old BF .6-year-old M calls me Pinocchio. I've always been self-conscious about it has a slight side hump, and the tip is rather droopy. Several people had made statements to me over my life that had stayed with me. You'd be much more attractive, e.g., if you got rid of the bit of your nose that points to your bum. So, I finally done something about it a few days ago. I'm too afraid to have surgery, so I had a non-surgical rhinoplasty, in which they used fillers to conceal the bulge and lift the tip. My nose isn't ideal, but my side profile is considerably better. My fiancé is aware that I have been self-conscious about my nose since I was in middle school. He didn't want me to have the treatment since he thinks I'm okay the way I am. And he doesn't want my vanity to get the best of me. I explained to him that I had given it a lot of thought and that it was something I truly wanted, but he had previously wavered back and forth with his support. As we were sitting on the couch, laughing, he suddenly pauses and looks at me and says, "Your nose is pretty long. You now resemble." Because the tip of my nose is lifted, it appears longer, yet this is the last thing I wanted to hear. I was pleased with how it turned out, but there is another statement that will stick with me. Like before, I became quiet, and he became defensive, claiming it was a joke. And now that I've had the procedure, I shouldn't be afraid. I informed him that remarks like that irritate me. He informed me. He vacillated between apologizing and being defensive, burrowing deeper with insults about how I'm too sensitive. And I shouldn't have gotten the operation in the first place. If I was going to be insecure, here was the time to do it. Is it possible that I'm overreacting? Should I drop this? I'm not sure if I'm being dramatic or if other people would be offended for context, but we make fun of each other's faces and bodies, except for our big cheeks, which we both have. TLDR, the F refers to me as Pinocchio. My confidence was shaken when I had nose fillers. Is it possible that I'm being overly sensitive to his joking narrative 3? My desire to have sex with another lady without me? 21 AM there? My girlfriend and I have been dating for 4 years. We have a pretty secure relationship, and she adores me. She has exhibited an increasing interest in ladies in the last year and has told me that she may be. I'm all for it, and I'm rooting for her. We frequently dream about her having sex with the other female while I watch, or that I have sex with her after she has finished with the other girl, as she has made it quite plain. She doesn't want a threesome, and she doesn't like how I've been acting with the other female lately. We've been fantasizing more recently, and she's been more open about it. She had a shower with one of her girlfriends and claimed to have been turned on. We talked about it while fantasizing about it, and she said she wanted to have sex with another lady without me present. She explained that she doesn't want me to see another female naked, and that she is embarrassed to do it in front of me. Remember, we've been together for 4 years. Is it wrong for me to feel excluded from her experience? And isn't it a little hypocritical of her to be concerned about my seeing another girl naked when she is the one who would be having sex with her? TLDR, my 4-year-old GF wants to have sex with another lady without me present. I was afraid of seeing another woman naked. Is it odd for me to feel left out of the story for, the 20th? I'm not sure how to respond to my lover, my partner 21M, and I have been going for approximately 2 months now. To put it frankly, we've seen each other virtually daily and are now moving on to the next phase. I'm a little self-conscious about myself. Everything about this is my first time, from the sounds to my facial reactions. I'm not sure how to respond to what happened the other day. We were fighting in bed. When he comes to a halt, he asked me whether or not I was feeling good, but when I failed the answer, catching my breath and trying not to feel humiliated, he pulls out and says that we don't need to do this anymore. He doesn't want to keep repeatedly asking me this. And if I'm not going to be entirely comfortable with making noises and stuff, we should stop. Afterwards, we normally sleep together on my bed. He hinted that he should go home, but only if I wanted him to. I felt so uncomfortable and kind of wanted to cry. What should I do? TLDR. My lover makes me feel embarrassed about my behaviors in bed, and it's also just me. No Sherwood. Story 5 by little brother. 12M heard me 17M speak things against him during a disagreement with my dad. So I have a stepbrother 12M Sammy who, despite what you're going to read, I 17M genuinely love. He means the world to me, and I'm so delighted that we've been brothers for 7 years now after his mother married my father. Samuel lived with his mom and my dad, who he calls dad full-time, while I rotated between my mom's and my dad's place. A couple of weeks ago, I got into a disagreement with my dad, which was mostly about how I don't think he tries enough to be active in my life. My father has an obvious favorite child, and that's Sammy. I think a lot of it has to do with the fact that Sammy is exceptional at sports. And my dad was likewise a huge jog growing up, as I was interested in playing. I still attend all of Sammy's games unless I have work or something like that to support him during the fight. I got upset at my dad rejecting his favorites and told him that he plays favorite with a kid who isn't his and try as hard as he would. Sammy was never going to be his son. He warned me to be quiet in case my brother heard, to which I replied that I don't have any brothers. Only 2 sisters. I have half-sisters from my mother, but Sammy does not. And we aren't a happy family. I merely said it to get a rise out of my father. Actually, I don't feel that way. I walked out of my father's house. He tried to phone me, unaware that Sammy had heard, but he didn't answer. Only that evening, when I answered my stepmother's phone, did I realize what it was. I discover Sammy overheard me. I went back home and apologized to him, but it's clear that he can't forget what he heard. I stomped on him. He hasn't looked me in the eyes since that day. Worst of all, I've heard him get excited, as if he's terrified of me. We're telling our father something. Then I enter into the room, and he falls silent. I know I didn't mean what I said, but there's no reason for him to believe me. When I told him now before it, because he wanted to do everything with me, I couldn't leave the house without gathering others to accompany me. He no longer wants to be in the same room as me. I'm at a loss for what to do or how to go about fixing the damage I've done. I've offered to do things and go in places with him. And he understandably declines. I'm not sure how to fix it and bring us back to where we were. I'm sorry if I said anything heinous, but it wasn't true. I adore my brother TL. I said certain things about my brother during a disagreement with my father, and now he refuses to hang out with me or even talk to me. I'm not sure I'll fix it.